Hey y'all, Darth Maulian here again. Today we're starting something new. This is it's called a Let's Build, where you are going to follow along as I build here. So today we are at Murkwater Construction Site in the far south of the map, and we're going to work on building a hunting lodge. I'm not sure what else I'm going to put here, but we're going to start with the hunting lodge. We're actually going to be starting with the building right behind me. You see this kind of destroyed house. It's going to become kind of the locker room, changing room area, and then the hunting lodge is going to be beyond that. But we're going to start with this, and we're going to see what we get. Today we're probably only going to get the floors and the walls up on this thing, but we'll see how far we go. So let's go ahead and get started. So what I'm going to do is I've already measured this, and this is it's 3 full blocks wide by 1.5 deep here. This area here is just going to be mostly blocked off, and there's going to be just a staircase leading up from in here. So I'm going to go ahead and build what we need, and then I will move it into place. So let's get started here. We're actually going to start in the warehouse tab. The one downside is I really like these floor pieces. They look really good, but they have the the thick foundation here, but they don't have anything with these wood, at least in the warehouse tab. So I'm actually going to use the wood pieces because they have the wood tops, and I think that's going to be better for at least the locker room here. So let's go ahead and get 3 in a row. And then on the other side, let's see. No, we got to go back into warehouse to get these, which, yeah, I messed up. So these are going to have to rotate. I just want all the boards facing the same way. It looks a little nicer. They're not going to match completely, but it looks nicer. So what we're going to do, and this is going to look a little odd when I first do this, but we want that, then one of these, and lastly one of these. Now it looks a little weird doing it like that, I understand, but it's going to make sense once I get this into place. You're going to see why I have done that. So let's go ahead and grab these. Well, actually, no, I don't need that one. I want this one. So I'm going to try and get it in place. If I don't get it in place on the first try, I will pause and come back, and we'll go ahead and I'll just fix it there for you, and you'll see what it looks like. I don't think I'm going to get this because it doesn't look like I'm lining this up right here. Alright, I think that's too high, first off. Yeah, I didn't line it up. I can get it to where there's going to be no gaps, no holes, and it looks perfect. And see, that's off because I want it lined up because of the way I'm going to be putting these walls in. So give me just a moment. I'll be right back, and we are going to I'll come back once it's fixed, and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, there we go. Let me show you what it looks like. So it is now in place. So you see we got the corners here, nice and solid, fits in perfectly. Got our this is going to be a doorway. Over there is going to be where the actual hunting lodge is. And we got all our corners. So now we're going to start getting the walls up. So that is going to be in the warehouse tab. Now I can fit this one. I found I can fit these first couple of walls in place, and this is why, as you see now, this is why I had... Oh, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, that's the one I want. Okay, I want the more solid one. Anyway, so because if I had these, if I'd had 3 of these pieces along here, this would not have lined up with the hole. But the way I've got these set up is if I do a gap like that, I get it lined up and it fits perfectly. It snaps right in, and I don't have to do any weird stuff. So let's see. I don't know if this is going to snap. It didn't when I was testing it, but it might snap now. No, it doesn't look like it's going to snap for me today. Let's see, are you going to snap? Well, you will snap, which is nice. Sometimes I can get it to snap off this second board, but nope, not right now. That's fine. So, yeah, as you see, it's going to be I'm going to be cutting off from this here down to there, and just going to be a staircase leading down. So, we are going to go ahead and start glitching these walls in. Now, this is a bit of a process. What I recommend, something that one of the YouTubers I follow, he does, is when you are doing this, you want to save when you're about to move stuff in, especially if it's something that's complicated, where it takes some time to get it together, and then it, you're moving it in, you're glitching it in. So we're going to start with a wall piece. I'm not going to save for these wall pieces because I don't need to, since it's just a single piece. Now, the other thing I've noticed is that sometimes you can't just use a pillar. Well, actually, I think that's the wrong pillar. Is that the wrong one? That is the wrong one. Alright, let's store that one and get the tall one. That's what I need. So, I already tested this as well, and this will not, because we've got this existing wooden frame here, the existing house, and it's not going to actually glitch in because this has to sit too close to the wall. So I can't actually push it in like that. So what you have to do is, if you come over here to power and down to conduits, you can find these little conduits right here. You can use these, the next one, or the really long one if you want. I'm going to use the small one because that's all I need for this. But depending on how far away you need to get from your target, if the bounding box is too close, as you see, we'll just grab this. So, if there's going to be too much in the way, you're going to go ahead, you want to spread it out like that, because that will allow it to fit in. So, as you see, there we are. We're already in place. Now, all I got to do, this one's not terrible. I just have to line up that seam in the middle there. Let's see how that looks. It looks good here. Let's check the inside. That is lined up pretty well. I like it. So, that's that first wall. Now we can bring... Nope, not that. It's sometimes hard to grab these things. So we're going to grab that, bring it down, lower that down into place. Now, go back into the warehouse walls, and we're going to fit one more wall. And this wall is going to go right over here. And then I'm going to need to get two more wall pieces for over here. Wish they would snap, but because of the existing structure, it won't let me. But that's alright. We'll get it in anyway. So let's lower this. And we'll position this. Now, there's another thing you gotta look for is on this one. Yeah, see, I can fit it through the window perhaps, or I can fit it over here. I'm gonna go over here because I got more freedom. So you want to move this over to this side here. And you don't need to touch it necessarily, but you want to get it pretty close. Yeah. You also want to select, the reason I'm selecting this, the post first, and then deselecting it, is something, if you grab the wrong thing... Okay, yeah, we're alright. I should check and make sure that we would be okay as far as the ground. Anyway, as I was saying, if you pick this up, it's not going to let me. If you pick up just the one piece and it doesn't want to. So if you grab the wall, sorry, I'm fumbling around here while I'm trying to figure this out. If you grab just the wall and then you try to group select from the post, what happens is it will shift the entire thing around and it won't ever go into place like you want it. So if you grab the post and deselect it, it actually does allow you to do that. You can position things a whole lot better. So I am trying to get this. Let's see, I may need to lift it just a little bit higher. There we go. Well, let's see, is it gonna... 'Cause sometimes you gotta actually see the ground. There. Alright, let's see how that looks. Oh, that is way too far in. Alright, let's try this again. So I'm gonna actually try it from further down. I'll give it one more shot, and if I can get this in. Problem is, it's really hard to tell where the board is, where the frame and the base and foundations here are compared to what you're trying to place. It's really hard to get an accurate. Let's see. That's not bad. Not perfectly lined up on the outside, but it doesn't really have to be. I think we'll be okay with that. I can always fix it later if I need to, since it's just a single piece. So that's good. I'm gonna call that one good. Let's grab this, and what I'm gonna do is I'm trying to minimize the number of, because there's, in order to fit. So I'm going to fit one, I'm going to fit two here. I'm going to glitch those together on top of each other. And I'm going to fit one here and then another one right over here. And in order to fit all of these, this one here is unfortunately not going to work. As you see, if I try to put it in place, it's going to cut through the door. So that one is the only one I'm actually going to have to fill in. I tried it before and I filled in a whole bunch of half-size wall segments that I had to build, and it looks fine, it looks great, but it takes a really long time. Now these two sections here are going to have to be a little bit, they're about a 3/4 size wall, so I am going to have to fit those, and I'm going to have to glitch those together. But let me go ahead and I'm going to come back. I'm going to go ahead and glitch the rest of these walls in, the full-size walls, and then I'll come back and show you what I'm going to do with the rest of this. So I will be right back. Okay, so here we go. Now we got all the walls up, as you see. All of the solid walls, the full-sized walls at least, are up. We got a little pathway here. So we're going to have to put in a couple of glitched walls in here to kind of close this off. I don't like the look of this destroyed section here, so I'm just going to close it off. And we got this one here. So what we're going to do is, in order to make these, let's go back into our build menu here, and we need to use, unfortunately they don't give us the half vertical walls, they give us this half, well, half whatever, you know what I mean. They give us this one, but they don't give us the other direction there. So what we're going to end up doing, this is kind of close, but it's not going to work for our purposes here. But these are pretty close as well, and these work out better. What we end up doing is we glitch a few of these together, and it comes together quite nicely. So in order to start this, we're actually going to start with a foundation piece over here, and that. And what we do is then I come over here. It doesn't matter what full-size wall I use. I just need a full-size wall in order to get a snapping point for this, because I need this to be snapped to this so that I can judge for size. So we'll bring this over and get that out of the way. We will use that for the next two, at least to get them started. So I'm going to show you the first one, and then I'm going to get the other two together. So what we end up doing is we come back in here. We're going to need one more of these and one of these. And we're going to start with this because that works out a whole lot better. I've done a lot of trial and error on this trying to get it to work. So we place that here. We come down over to the Decorations tab all the way to the end. And we get this tiny little cat bowl. I'm not sure why they actually gave us the cat bowl, to be perfectly honest, in the build section here, because we can find these out in the world. But I'm glad they did, because it gives us this option to grab things. And the reason I use the cat bowl is because it's very small and it doesn't get in my way as I'm looking at things as well. So what I'm going to do is I line this up just like that. Turn it, and we're green. I just want to get it pretty much 100% lined up, as close as I can get it, at least. Yeah, see how it just disappears and then reappears instantly? That's what we want, because that makes sure that it is lined up. And you see where, if you judge by where these two kind of come together, it gives you a good base. But you can also tell, because we're on this small wooden foundation piece here, that this is half the size of the standard, or half the width at least, of a standard foundation piece over here. And that gives you another judge, but putting those two together like that works. Now, the reason this could work, just getting those two could work if you're okay with having a large hole in the wall like that. I am not. I don't like having a big hole like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fit this piece, which, if I can fit it just right, it's not going right. Let's get right there. That's good. If I can fit this in just right, I can actually get most of that closed off. So what we do now is we bring this in. We put it about right here, and it never goes in quite the way you want it. Sometimes you can, yeah, see, that is not bad. I'm gonna fit it back there so that it actually sticks out a little ways. And you see, now most of that hole is covered up, and there's just a tiny hole right there. So if you wanted to, if you really wanted to, you could glitch several of these together and get pretty much a perfectly even wall as far as the inside. The outside, however, is going to look like this, and it really doesn't look great. So now let's get this into place. So what we do, again, we have to grab one, release, and then grab the whole thing. And we'll bring it over here. I like using this little hill here because it sinks in a little. And I like dropping it just a touch. So we're going to come back over here and grab the cat bowl. And use this right there. Grab the whole thing. And I like keeping the cat bowl on the same surface, or sometimes just a little bit lower. Tends to work out really well. You don't want it too much lower because it doesn't fit in properly. But alright, let's see if this is going to go in. Come on. You were going in before. Oh, there we go. That works. Just got to make sure it is green. And there we go. Oh, I don't want to remove that. I want the cat bowl. Thank you. Put that back outside. And now we've got our wall. It may not be perfectly lined up with everything, but you know, this is just a locker room. This is just, so it's not necessary that this be perfect. This is just, you know, where they come to change and shower and get cleaned up after they go out on a hunt. And this will work for our purposes here. So now I'm going to go ahead, and I am starting to lose my light, but that's alright. I'm going to go ahead and finish these, and I will come back and break the daylight again, and I will show you what these look like. So I will be right back. Alright, so it is morning again, And you see I've got my two wall pieces here that are glitched together. That one's not... The height doesn't matter. I'm not concerned about that, the roof line there, because I'm going to be putting something in to cover that anyway, roof piece. So what we're going to do, though, is I forgot what we need to do is we're actually going to need to put in the ramp first. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a ramp, and because if I put in the walls first, the ramp or the stairs will not fit. But if I put in the ramp first, it should go ahead and fit. So let's go ahead and see if we can get that. I was able to get it done before. And what we're going to do is we're going to come down here to the scaffolding and the stairs here, and let's see, I like this ramp here. I don't know if it's going to let me in. Does not seem like it wants to let me put it in place for some reason. It's working before. Alright, well, let's see if we can get the stairs in. Yeah, those will go right in. So we just need to line this up right there. Here we go. So now we got some stairs. Let's line those up a little better, actually. That's better. And what we're going to do is, so now we got a way to get up. And the way we're going to do this is, actually, I'm going to shift this. Ooh. That's not what I wanted to do. We're going to shift it just a hair. See, build order is really what you need to work on with this. There we go. That's how I want it. Because I want this, what I'm going to try to do, I don't know if it's going to work, but what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to go ahead and get the walls to kind of cover the frames on this so it just looks like the stairs are coming out of the wall. So, let's go ahead and grab our wall pieces. And we're going to put these over here. So I'm going to need to use the cat bowl method to get these in. Because these should work just fine. Let's see. You see how it's jumping up like that? Problem with that is it's grabbing the wrong thing. I need to grab the middle one here. Now, see, it's jumping up, and that's not good. That's not going to work. See, it sinks that. So let's grab this like that, and there we go. See how it didn't jump up that time? That means that it should work just fine coming in here. So let's try this and see. Yeah, see, we can glitch this in. I might not be able to get it exactly where I want it, but it will go in here. There we go. Let's pull this forward. How far forward can I get it? You know, something's not right. Something is not working right here. Let's try that one. This ground is not even, of course, and that causes problems sometimes. Which is why what I need to do is actually to have the cat bowl up. Uh-oh. I can have the cat bowl above it. That should... If I can have it far enough above it, I should be able to drop this into place a whole lot better. Yeah, it's not wanting to go. Okay, maybe... Alright. I'm going to try it one more time. If this doesn't work, I'm going to just fix it, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Yeah, it's not wanting to go properly. Alright, I will fix it, I will get it in, and I will show you what it looks like. Alright, there we go. So we've got our stairs here, as you see, and the walls are in. Not as tight as I'd like them, but, you know, it's as good as I'm going to be able to get it. But it still looks good. It's a nice, tight hallway. Comes right up to some stairs. And we come into the main area. So, that is it. I am going to show you one last thing, just for those who may be wondering. The reason why I had to use the large wall piece and the large foundation piece is because these don't snap to floor pieces. They only snap to wall pieces. So as you see, I'm sitting here, it's not snapping at all. So it's a lot harder to actually get it into position on this, whereas if I snap it, it's already definitely in position, snapped in place, and it's lined up with the boards. And that works out a whole lot better for how I want to set this up. So I just want to show you that real quick. But that is it for today. We are done with this right now. I am going to be putting a roof on. As you see, the wall lines don't match up there, but I am going to be putting a roof on top, and I'm going to try and sink it down a little bit because I don't need it to that high. I can have it a little bit lower, and so if I do that, I can cover up that mess, and that's okay. But we're going to go ahead and call this done for today. And if you guys come back, I'm not sure when I'll get the next video out. Hopefully next week, but we'll see. We're gonna get the roof done, get the doors in place, and see about getting some of the decorations in place. We're not going to do junk decorations. Probably not going to do that in this video series. We're just going to do some furniture and stuff like that, make it look relatively nice. I might put a second floor, but I probably won't. But that'll be it for today. Come back next week or whenever I'm able to get the video out, and we'll go ahead and get that done. And then after that, we'll start working on the actual hunting lodge. There will be a little path here, and that might be in the next episode as well. Hope to see you guys next time. Have a good day. Bye.